First thing is, when you want to refute liberalism or feminism or atheism or red pillism or this ism or that ism, you don't need some PhD doctorate to do it. Alhamdulillah, the Quran and the Sahih Hadith and the understanding that we know from the Salaf and the works of the good established scholars and du'at, callers towards Allah, who are clearly on a correct aqīdah, enough for us. If you think that these issues haven't been addressed by our scholars and tullab ilm and du'at, then you just haven't researched enough. I know there are some brothers that are very funny, like their answers are very funny and things, and people like to use them, but we don't really need that, right? We have, alhamdulillah, our scholars of Islam that have dealt with these issues and they have responded to them with evidences, right? And that's enough for us. One of the mistakes our du'at make is they take their playing field to be that of the kuffar. You know what I mean? Meaning, if some kafir comes and says that we came from monkeys or primates or apes or whatever, then they try to find from the writings of Darwin or whatever to refute. We don't have to do that. We don't need to justify our aqīdah on their rules. Right? We have the Quran. That is the ultimate truth for us. We have the Sahih Hadith, that which is established from the Prophet ﷺ. That is reality to us. Right? And based on that, we can give responses. And that is what we need to stand on. Okay? So if you take somebody and you tell your children, the answer you should give your secular teacher is this video from this person, you are now making that the sheikh of your son. And then tomorrow when that same child clicks and clicks and clicks and goes to other videos and starts to find things that are against the aqīdah of Islam and comes back and says, Dad, guess what? I'm going to be worshipping this grave. And then you're like, no, I didn't want you to take that part. That's not the way it works. Okay? So alhamdulillah, our ulama, the great scholars of Islam, have, based on evidences, refuted these shubuhat. This evolution and this feminism and this Darwinism and evolution are not something new. Scholars of Islam and du'at, callers towards Allah, upon the right, clear aqīdah, have clarified these issues. But many people have not had the opportunity to read their works or listen to their videos or know those things, so they go to what's more popular nowadays, what's popping on the YouTube, search engine, whatever, what's trending on TikTok or whatever. Don't worry about these things, but be very careful not to corrupt your own aqīdah in trying to refute the people of shubuhat. And this is one of the mistakes that the very early scholars made as well, those that left the way of the Salaf, is in order to win debates, they went into kalam and they went into things that then later on ended up corrupting them. One of the great scholars of Islam, and no doubt to his academic abilities, Imam al-Ghazali, he was very good at refuting. Right? When the Mu'tazila and the Ba'taniya, they came, he would spend time with them. He would indulge, like he would engulf himself with them, and he would learn from them, and then he would refute them. But then the problem is, in the end, he started to have his own issues. And that's why one of the other great scholars, he said that Ghazali, he swallowed up all of those enemies of Islam, but then he couldn't throw them back out. Right? You understand? So this is a very deep thing if you think about it, right? Many of the ulama, they wouldn't agree with going into philosophy and kalam except for debates. But then the problem, and this is why even today in da'wah, I don't use philosophy, I don't use, micro-chemanism or whatever else people get into, and I don't get into Plato or Homer or Simpsons or Aristotle or any of that stuff, right? Because our da'wah has to be Quran and Sunnah. Yes, we have nothing against science, and we use proper methods of science to refute the shubuhat that come forward, and we talk about clinical trials and all those things, but we don't go into the playing field of the kuffar. Yani when they say, okay, in this philosophy, this has come, and you say, oh, I got a really good point against atheism here. But then tomorrow when they bring the same philosophy against something that's in your aqeedah, then either you're going to be a munafiq and you're going to not use the same usul, or you're going to mess up your aqeedah. No. We have the Quran, alhamdulillah. We have the Sunnah, alhamdulillah. We have the great scholars of Islam that are alive today, and those that have passed away in the past that have addressed these issues. So don't need to go to those people who are not evident with theirs.
Jazakallah khair, Shaykh. I'm just going to add one thing about the importance of studying the Aqīdah properly. Ikhwani, the brothers in the Dawah circuit today, the reason why they get into all these things is because they're trying to refute, like the Shaykh said, these atheism and all these other things. The number one reason why people are leaving Islam is because they have evil thoughts of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The shaitan plays with their minds and makes them think that Allah is unjust, unfair. When you learn about Allah, who He is, right? Learn about His asma, His sifat properly, and understand His actions and His wisdom behind what He does. Believe me, if you have this and you continue with it, ikhwani, it doesn't matter who comes to you, any ism that comes, because all these isms are batil. They're in one camp, and our religion is in one haqq camp. So it doesn't matter who comes to you with any ism, any philosophy comes to you from foreign sources. If you know who Allah is, and you love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you know His names and attributes properly, and you understand that He's just and He loves for us the guidance and all those kinds of things, then nothing will come, will shake you. Because I know from first-hand experience, I know people personally that are close, not alhamdulillah my own blood family, but people that are related to me, people that I know personally and it's a pattern. I know why people left Islam. Somebody would say, oh, if Allah, for example, if Allah knew the shaitan would do what he did, why did He create him? Yani, what are you asking? Like, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not questioned about what He does. If somebody knew the purpose of their creation, they wouldn't even ask these questions. And concern yourself with yourself. Don't concern yourself with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you know who Allah is and how great He is and how He's above even our own understanding of His wisdom in a comprehensive manner, you wouldn't worry. So that's why I'm saying that before these isms appeared today, before all these different regimes and political things that appeared today, the misguidance of the old sects that were within Islam were always around before. And they recycled themselves today. So people say, oh, you Salafis are just talking about Jahmiyyah, Mu'tazila, oh, these are outdated. No, they're not outdated, akhi. These same ideas, they come back in a recycled way. When the Jahmiyyah say, for example, and again, you might think, well, I don't know what these names mean, but if you study these things a little bit at least, you'll know that they deny all of Allah's attributes and names, period. And the early scholars said that when you describe Allah this way, and yet you say He has no names, He's no attributes, He's not above, He's not below, He's not the some scholars said this is the perfect definition of non-existence. So atheism, I'm not saying necessarily that the Jahmis are atheists, but I'm just saying that the same fikrah, same idea comes in a recycled way and then attacks you in the same way. So if you study the Aqīdah from its roots and understand who Allah is and matters of the unseen and things like that, I'm telling you from my experience, nothing will shake you. And I've seen, like I said, people that are close to me, their own brothers, their own sisters left Islam because they have evil thoughts of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and they never knew who He was. Barakallah fi. That's my addition to it.
Allah barak fi. Jazakallah khair. Wallahi ikhwa, I feel like I'm in meadows in Jannah, wallahi, with you. May Allah bless you. As'al Allah an yubarik feekum. May Allah reward you tremendously for making this event successful regardless of the snowstorm.